I told you there was going to be a part two. It took a while. I thought this was going to happen a lot sooner, where they were going to actually reply to this. So I'm going to read every word of this. We're going to give my live reaction to it, kind of thing. But honestly, I'm thinking here that this is them saying, well, you guys continue to pester us with these questions. I think really what happened here is that they did not necessarily want all these discussions to carry on over this length of time. Like they did the original video, the Wowcast episode. And then for whatever reason, publications continued to publish stuff around this topic that seemed different from the Wowcast episode, enough that it carried this conversation further, okay? And so then, because of what we made the video on last year, it was like 2 weeks ago now, they had to reply. So let's read every word of it, and I will give you my thoughts on it. First of all, thank you for the feedback so far about the upcoming add-on changes. We've been reading it all and discussing it internally, and will continue to do so. I'd hope so, yeah. Also, a special thanks to the mods for setting up the add-on restriction feedback channel. So they're talking about this in a WoW UI dev Discord server, okay? And I just want to clarify how this works. Basically, Blizzard has a company Discord that's called I think it's called WoW Team or WoW Devs or something like that, and it's just actually a community manager who runs it, and they just go into the Discord and make a post as Blizzard kind of thing. But it's not actually Ian. It's just like a community manager. And they basically, they write the email or the letter that they're going to send out in Discord. They write it as a unit. It gets passed around through all the people who want to contribute to it. And then the person who presses send on it is not actually Ian. So usually a lot of these conversations that happen from their perspective that are not through a interview or not directly posted by Ian or a top end, developer, get a little bit watered down, because what they would say is this first paragraph would get typed out, and then another guy might disagree with some of it, so they would change it, and then it kind of stops becoming one person writing it. You know what I mean? It kind of becomes like 10 people all writing a post. So just be aware of that, because it sounds a little weird at times. Anyway, consolidating your most important feedback about this project in one place not only makes reading the feedback easier for us, but also reduces the likelihood that the feedback will be lost. Okay, great. Who gives a fuck? I mean, they're basically praising a Discord. I don't care. Reading through your feedback so far, it is clear that there's a lot of confusion about the timing, goals, and nature of these changes. Yeah, no shit. While our communication on these changes so far has been intended more for the press and general player base, see, that's the problem. We also understand that it would greatly benefit you as add-on developers to have more clarity. We also hope this clarity better informs your feedback going forward. Please understand that this project is in heavy development right now, so we won't be able to give specific technical details just yet, exactly which things will be locked down, etc. We'll be releasing this more detailed information in the future, though. Yeah, no shit. Well before the project goes live. So stay tuned for those details in the coming months. It's very interesting that they keep calling it a project. This project is in heavy development. Okay, so this is like a wide sweeping change to the game. This is going to probably come in place of many other things that were being worked on. It's pretty crazy actually how they're really going all in on this. Although we haven't finalized the target release date for these changes, what we can say is that we'll be giving many months of advance notice before we flip the switch. We want to allow add-on devs as much time as possible to test the changes, report issues, and provide feedback. We will be announcing the landing place for these changes well ahead of time and taking steps to maximize the amount of hands-on feedback from add-on developers before the changes go live. With some weird punctuation there. I don't know if that's a typo on their part. Doesn't matter. Anyway, the funny thing that I think about all this so far is that they are saying we're going to give you guys so much fucking time, but we have no idea when that's going to begin. So that tells you that we're years away. I mean, I think it's not coming at midnight at this point. It's very, very strange how they're talking about it. Hey guys, it says, this is not, again, the Blizzard doesn't use words, it's seldom that they exaggerate, okay? Giving many months of advanced notice. Many months. Well, what would be many? I mean, you would say 6, right? To me, that would be many, at least. I mean, I think more than 4 is many, right? So that's a long time, meaning you would think maybe at the absolute least, the start of a beta cycle, right? That's what I would think. Okay, they're going to tell us about this for Midnight's beta start, and then it would come with Midnight's beta launch. But then they say, they have no idea when this is coming. The heavy development, we won't be able to give specific technical details. I mean, you would expect the midnight beta to be within the next like 5 months, right? Like it would have to be late this year, I think. I don't know. I have no idea what they're planning at this point, but it seems to me like we're very far away from this still. Anyway, add-ons provide a huge amount of value to our players, and we have no intention of banning them or anything like that. We are aiming to cause the least amount of collateral damage possible to add-ons when these changes go live. We know there will be some unintended fallout for add-ons that are not directly targeted by these changes, but we will be actively taking steps to minimize that damage as much as possible. That's a big issue, and that's why they want to give so much advance notice, I think, because let me just explain this to you right now. If you guys aren't aware, you probably use an add-on that's currently no longer developed. I think almost everybody does. There's add-ons that have been usable. Well, I think especially before the War Within, like I was using add-ons that had last been updated in Wrath of the Lich King. You know what I mean? I used an add-on for a very long time before Plater that had not been updated since TBC. Okay, and it was eventually. I mean, I still used Decursive. That add-on pretty much doesn't get updated, and this is probably going to break those. I would imagine that any add-on developer who is gone and not coming back, those add-ons are gone. Okay, and so just be aware of that. Just be ready for that, because if you use an add-on that you find crucial. Now, the good thing is nowadays ChatGPT is actually very able to help you with add-ons. So if you are unaware of how to update it, you might actually be able to update it without any real changes happening. But yeah, of course, we're going to have to wait to see how they change the APIs or whatever that stuff is. So anyway, where were we left off? Let's see. Yes, your feedback here is vital, since you obviously know best which APIs you currently use and for what purpose. Likewise, we aim to minimize the impact on accessibility add-ons as much as possible. Functionality in that space, which is no longer possible after these changes, are things we will aim to incorporate into our base game. A lot of this was period, then comma. I assume this has something to do with whatever I'm reading this on. Anyway, yeah, it's an interesting topic, because accessibility add-ons. What would you guys say is an example of an accessibility add-on? I don't really know what that even means at this point, because, like, I don't know. That phrase has gotten really blurred. Yeah, at one point it meant like, okay, if you have a wheelchair, we have a ramp for you instead of stairs, right? But now it feels like, okay, if you're like a little bit slower learner, we can just reread the book to you. You know what I mean? So like, what is accessibility in World of Warcraft? I really don't know. What are we talking about? Something that changes the size of the font, or are we talking about something that like DBM? Like, because you know what I mean? Like, if you don't know when mechanics happening, you might not find the game accessible. I don't know, but there's definitely going to be problems with add-ons that are kind of all-encompassing, like DBM, that they could still potentially work, but like 50% of their features won't work. So will it be encouraging to be that add-on dev still? I don't know. Like, we'll see what they actually do. But anyway, we have seen speculation that we are primarily targeting race to world first guilds with these changes. While it is true that Mythic rating has become increasingly reliant on add-ons, this is not the primary goal of this project. It's interesting that they're taking the time to address this, because I don't know what the value in addressing this is right now. But I guess they really want to make it clear that everybody is the goal, not just some people. We are embarking on this project with the aim of leveling the playing field and making the game more approachable for all players. Currently, add-ons are able to analyze and solve combat and coordination mechanics perfectly, and faster than would be possible for an unassisted human player. While many players will naturally seek out any advantage, this also means that players who don't use these add-ons are at a huge disadvantage. Many players end up feeling excluded from competitive content unless they install, set up, and maintain a number of add-ons. This is a significant barrier to entry, and we have heard growing feedback over the years from players who resent feeling like they need add-ons to play the game properly. This project is about doing everything we can to shrink that gap by building up the baseline functionality of the default UI, while also reining in the optimal problem-solving capabilities of the add-on API. We will also be making substantial changes to how we design our combat and encounters to accompany these add-on changes. Removing the ability for add-ons to solve most encounter mechanics mean that we can also take a different approach to the design of our encounters going forward. The same goes for certain class mechanics. The goal is to make our class mechanics more approachable and easier to understand without add-on solutions. If everything goes to plan, WoW will remain challenging, but the nature of that challenge will be less about managing subtleties of class mechanics and more about collaborating with allies and interacting with encounters. So they're saying things that encourage me, like that last statement especially. managing subtleties of class mechanics, and more about collaborating with allies and interacting with encounters. That's how the game was at one point. So in like Classic and TBC and into Wrath, that was how the challenge was. Like you didn't actually have one player trying to carry the load. I mean, maybe DPS wise they could, but there wasn't one person doing all the tanking, all the interrupting, all the utility. You know what I mean? There was a lot less happening. It was more about, okay, let's 5 of us move over here. Like 3 of us switch to this target. Like, okay, the 6 of us are going to interrupt over here. You know, like it was more about kind of top down stuff. But what we saw in the previous article about that PC Gamer nonsense article, yeah, that it kind of, they kind of confirm it here, unfortunately. Collaborating with allies and interacting with encounters, to me, tells you that, we are going to get screwed here in the pug world. If what they said in the other article is even remotely true, I think this is confirmation of it. But still, I'm optimistic. I want to see what they do, because I think there's a really big issue with the game, and I don't really think this is as common as people make it sound either, though. But, like, I haven't raided in a long time, but, like, the last raid I did seriously was Sanctum of Domination. And in that fight, the Fate Scribe encounter, I don't even know how the fuck you do that without an add-on, without a weak aura. And I didn't dislike that, to be honest. Like, there was fights like that the whole time. We did that on Vectis, in BFA. Archimon was a famous one. Exorcist raid tools back in WoD was really, really, really crucial to a lot of fights, and planning them out preemptively. Go all the way back to AVR on Lich King and in the raid there. I'm going to say this right now. I like that shit. Like, I don't know. I don't understand these people who, what is the comment that gets made here? While many players will naturally seek out any advantage, this also means players who don't use these add-ons are at a huge disadvantage. But why would you not use the add-on? Like, that's the part I don't understand. Like, I guess I need to hear exactly what add-ons they're talking about, because it sounds like they're just talking about a weak aura. You just download a weak aura. Everybody needs the weak aura. This is very fucking common. Like, from the time I raided until the time I stopped raiding, it was always at least one fight where everybody having some tool would help with that. And this was like a good thing. I don't understand why it would be a bad thing. Like, I get that Blizzard doesn't want people to solve combat and coordination mechanics perfectly. That's not good for the game. But it's not really a problem from the player's perspective. I don't really understand this. Like, you're basically just moaning at that point. Like, oh, do I really have to fucking install another weak aura? Yes. Like, do you want your raid team to succeed? Like, what do you mean? Do you have to get gear? Do you have to learn fights? Do you have to know how to play your character? Like, yeah, okay, so what? I don't really understand the problem here. Like, I'm not really sure why this is a problem from the player base's perspective enough to give feedback on this. So to me, it really sounds entitled. It really sounds like moaning. It really sounds like a problem that doesn't actually exist. And now we're going to get, like, Blizzard, right? Like, monkey's paw shit. Like, we're going to lose more than we gain here, for sure. Like, don't tell me for truth that Blizzard is going to make the game, like, 100% easier to compensate for these add-ons. Like, if we suddenly don't have the ability to track interrupts, we don't have any type of timers, we don't have any type of, like, I think they already said there's going to be, like, DPS meters and stuff. But, like, imagine if everything you have on your screen right now was gone. Imagine it. If you had no UI, what level are you going to lose? You're going to lose, at least personally, I know I'm going to lose enormous amounts of power. Like, I cannot possibly compensate for the loss of the weak auras I use to track my CDs and the damage type weak aura. This is the thing that keeps me up at night, not literally, but it's the thing that I'm the most worried about. The damage type weak aura going away is probably going to really fucking hurt me. Like, it's going to kill me, especially when it comes to reviewing to figure out what happened when I died. That's the thing that I'm the most worried about. I imagine that one's just not going to work. Like, I can't imagine that would work if these other things are not going to work. So who's complaining about this shit? Like, honestly, why would you complain about that? What, you don't want to have more tools? I don't understand. Like, what, you want to just be blind and just try your best? I guess, all right, feel free. But I guarantee you they are not going to just suddenly implement every single tool everybody uses into the game perfectly and make the content easier all in one patch. That's not happening. Like, there's no way this is happening. It's going to be a massive, massive step backwards. Just like we did the same thing with Titan Forging. We did the same thing with so many, like, Flight and all these other hot topics over the years. People demand something from Blizzard. Yeah, Blizzard doesn't do it right, man. I don't know why you guys keep demanding shit. Like, do you really know that? Do you even know that they do this poorly or this consistently? if it was me and you disliked add-ons, try to do a fucking challenge, man. Try to get other people to agree to raid or do 5-bans with no add-ons and make a video on it or something. Like, spin this to your advantage. Don't press Blizzard to make changes they don't want to make and then cause everybody else who likes add-ons to get fucked. This is the biggest issue with the games community nowadays. Anyway, there's one more little paragraph. There are a number of significant additions and updates to our UI that will go along with these changes. We have already announced that there will be adding a built-in damage meter and making improvements to our nameplates, but that is by no means the extent of our planned changes. I mean, okay, so the damage meter thing is probably the most interesting because as of right now, Details does a lot more than just damage. And if this does not, like, what the fuck is this going to look like, first of all? How customizable is it going to be? Can you change the textures? Can you change the size? Like, what's this actually going to look like? I cannot wait. This is the thing I'm most eager. I'll be making many videos on this topic when it comes out. I promise you that, because from the very beginning, I've always felt the damage meter was absolutely integral to being a successful player, and anybody who does not have a damage meter on their screen, I immediately assume is not a competitive. They do not have a competitive mindset. So this is going to be really, 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 really crucial to me. Are we going back to the Stone Ages with damage meters? And then also nameplates. Like, that sounds to me like you're talking about Plater and Details, which are the most well-maintained add-ons in the game right now. You could say Weak Ores too, but Weak Ores is mostly just a framework. Whereas Details and Plater, yeah, they're pretty crazy, man. Like, they're really, really, really powerful add-ons. And the people who work on them, and, you know, Tarot Cobb or whatever that dude's name is, like, they are high passion. Like, they really like their add-on and like making it the best it can be. So if you're just going to be like, yeah, those add-ons are dead, that sucks. Because that dude's a fucking genius. Those people who work on that, or I don't know exactly how many people work on it, but yeah, the people who contribute to that add-on one way or the other are fucking geniuses, and they have passion for this. It's not just like some random add-on that's been like, you know, like Scada or something that's been strung along over 8 years, like more than that now. It's like 15 years of development. Like, the person who makes this add-on is constantly trying to improve it. So this you got a lot of fucking work to do here, Blizzard. You know what I mean? Anyway, the goal is for our base UI to provide players with a good portion of the most important combat information add-ons currently provide. Most of this functionality will ship at the same time as these add-ons restrictions, if not sooner. Furthermore, this is an ongoing process. We intend to keep this line of communication open after the restrictions are put in place, and we will continue to listen, iterate, and improve our offerings in subsequent patches. And so, like, you can trace this statement to, like, the original UI changes that came with Dragonflight. Originally, we had, like, very, very little in the alpha. I remember covering it in the Dragonflight alpha. And then, like, each build, they add more and more. But then, ultimately, it launches in a relatively weak state. And they continued to add on features to it. But a lot of, you know, the first patch of Dragonflight's UI changes were just simply not, like, nobody liked them. They were not what they wanted. And, yeah, I think you're going to see the same thing here again today. The idea of the base UI providing players with a good portion of the most important combat information add-ons currently provide is simply not going to happen in the first iteration. I think as the things that absolutely need to happen is the ability to track cooldowns with a, you know, customizable visual output. Like on Weak Ores, I think almost everybody uses like a little box or whatever you would say, like an icon. That's called icon. But there's also bars. There's also textures. And I've seen a lot of people, like Kyrasis actually has a very unique UI that's just simply comprised of textures and colors, I think is how you would put it. So, yeah, like, is the base UI going to allow that? Fucking no shot, right? So that dude's going backwards. Like, that sucks. Like, why the fuck does he need to go backwards? Like, I don't really get it. You know what I mean? I think the way to solve this, we talked about this a lot in the comment section of the last video. The way to actually solve this is, like so many games have, make a tool in the video game that allows you to download the add-ons there. So you don't need to go to these third-party websites, because this has always been controversial. Back in the early days, like Curse was always a little controversial. Then, you know, it kept getting even more controversial. So, you know, but people trusted it for add-ons and all this other stuff. And then whatever the program that's used now with the Anvil, whatever that's even called, people were like, this program's malware. I'm downloading programs from, you know, unscrupulous sources. I'm not going to use that. We got to use. You remember in Shadowlands there was like an alternative that everybody was trying to get people to use. Like, brother, nobody's going to use that. Come on, let's be serious here. So it's just like, I guess that you should solve that. I think, you know what I mean. Like, you really shouldn't want people fighting to figure out where they get add-ons. But yeah, I don't know. Like, just make it like there's a game that I've played. It's called Zero AD. It has all the custom content that the game could produce. It gets uploaded and downloaded through the game. It's like, what? Can you just do that? Like, can we just make a little store tab on to get rid of the actual fucking cash shop and put add-ons on there and make people just download them for free? Like, I don't really understand why that's a problem, or why they wouldn't allow that. Like, why can't you customize your game through the game itself? Why does it have to be? I think that's the biggest issue, because to me, I don't understand the issue otherwise. Like, I don't understand the issue. You're talking about many players end up feeling excluded from competitive content unless they install, set up, and maintain a number of add-ons. Then fucking do it. What is the problem? Like, I don't understand. Like, it's extremely easy to do. Most of the stuff that you down, like, again, since Shadowlands, I haven't done serious rating, but I assume not much has changed in the way that they just get sent to you either through Discord or in the game. You click a button and you have it. Like, what is the barrier to entry here? This is a significant barrier to entry. In what way? What do you mean? You press a button and then have the add-on. I don't understand what the problem is. So, yeah, I don't know. Resent feeling like they need add-ons to play the game properly. Like, you just suck at the game. I don't know what else to say, man. Like, I don't understand the problem. Do you want to be good at the game or not? Like, there's like a couple people who have left comments on this channel now that they say these weird ass things like the add-ons play the game for you and all this shit, and it's like, okay, so brother, let's log on right now, man. Like, I want to see your parses, I want to see your score, because I don't buy it. If you're so fucking skilled at the game, the add-ons can't, like, you can't possibly benefit from using the add-ons, then let's see it, man. You should be a top player in the game. Like, you know what I mean? Unless you are a top player in the game, like, at least you're in title range, or you're a 8 of 8 or whatever the full raid clear is now. If you're not in those boats, then you should be using add-ons, man. Like, you're holding your team back. Like, you know, it's really fucking absurd that there's even an argument about this. You should want to be the best player you can be. You should want the tools available to you to be the best they can be. Otherwise, why play? I don't understand. Like, you're doing some kind of weird challenge then at that point. And that's fine if you want to do that. I don't have anything against people doing that. You know me, I love doing leveling challenges. My whole life is basically a fucking leveling challenge at this point. So I don't mind people doing it, but don't act like it's wrong to do it the right way. Like, it's wrong to use add-ons and things are like unfair or something like that. It's like, it's clearly usable. It's clearly fair. It's not cheating in any way. So why would you not use it? There's no reason to not use it. I don't understand the mentality there. So, and I don't care. I don't care if you feel that way. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, if you want to feel that way, feel free to feel that way. But you fucked this up for everybody else, man. Like, whoever's giving this feedback, you fucked this up for everybody else. This is not what we needed. We did not want this. I mean, I think most people who pug do not want this. This is going to make our lives harder, okay? So, grats. You fucked this. You fucked everybody else for some weird, like, some weird, like, stubborn ego shit. Like, I don't even know what the problem is. Just download the fucking add-ons. So, anyway, we'll see what they actually do. But, yeah, I think this is going to be a massive, like, I can't say massive enough. I can't over-exaggerate this enough. I think it's going to be a huge step backwards for this game for a long time. And I think it could work long-term. Like, if we can, fast forward 5 years after this development happens, then it could be great. And I think it will be worth their time. Like I said, I'm optimistic. Even though, what I just said doesn't sound it, but I am optimistic about this. I want this to work. So, one, I just need to see what Blizzard's actual UI looks like afterwards. And, yeah, it's probably going to take some time to be comfortable with it. And two, I need to see what they actually do to make the game easier to kind of stay on pace with the difficulty after the changes. Because I just don't see it happening. I really don't. I think most of the difficulty in the game right now is not, like, people fail shit that should not be difficult. Like, we saw, I posted a clip last weekend of Paladin trying to, use the arrow on Candle King to hit 2 purple candle things or whatever those are. They were pressed flat up against a wall. He's trying to get behind them. His first instinct is to run to 2 that are behind a wall, that are pressed up against a wall. Like, what? That's not, you know what I mean? Like, that's the difficulty that we're facing in the game right now. What add-on is that guy going to use to solve that? So what you're not going to change that shit. You know what I mean? Like, no matter what this guy's got on his screen. I mean, the only argument I could hear is that, like, okay, he's somehow overwhelmed with information on his screen and he's not able to pay attention to the mechanics. This is a valid critique. So if that happens, then cool. Maybe that works out. But I think in general, most of the difficulty of the game right now is that there is just this weird. I don't even know how to describe it. I don't want to insult anybody, but yeah, people just not ready for the mechanics that are coming out, and I think that's going to be even made harder. No matter what the mechanic is, no matter what changes they make, without the tools that you have available to you, telling you to do these things and helping you do these things, you are going to become a worse player. That is not going to be commensurate with whatever they change. Like, there's no way. You know what I mean? Unless the mob literally just stands there and lets you punch it. You know what I mean? It doesn't have any mechanics whatsoever now after the changes. No matter what the mechanic is, without these tools helping you, you are lost. You've lost something. Okay, so let's see what they do. Thanks for watching. I look forward to the comments.